Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Sasha Reade. Tonight we've got some really fun crafting going on. I've got some shading and some sort of blocking of color. I don't know to call it. I'm so rubbish with knowing what these techniques are called. But basically we are going to do a lot of blending, and most of these cards are one layer cards. So they're great for posting if you want to post internationally or somewhere that might cost you a bit more. So to get started, I am using this low tack tape. I've got my card base folded and ready to go. My card bases are 350 GSM and they are from Lime Tree Craft. I buy full sheets of cardstock and I cut them down to make my cards. And what I'm doing here is I'm taking this low tack tape, which I have purchased from AliExpress. I'll do my best to put the links down below for you of everything I show you in the video. I love this tape. It's basically post-it note tape, but it's wider and way cheaper. And it is fantastic for using to block off areas that you want to ink up. So that's what we're doing here. And this also holds my card to that piece of paper, which is really handy. I've got all these ink pads which I've recently picked up from Cardstock. I'll link them down below. And I'm going to be using most of them today. They are fantastic because they have the graduated colors already, so it takes the guesswork out of everything. And I can just do some sort of ombre colored looks without having to think much about it. I've got some ink blending brushes. Most of these are from KS Crafts on AliExpress. I'll link them down below for you. I picked them up really recently in a haul video. And I'm going to use them for my first set of ink blending. So to get started, I've got my ink pads ready to go to the right, and I'm going to start with the darkest color. And I'm going to come in from the top and work my way onto my paper. I don't mind going direct to paper and not blending some off to the side first, because I want the top to be as dark as possible. I want that top edge to be the darkest and true color to that ink pad. And then I'm working my way down using the ink pads to get a graduated lighter effect in my coloring. So I'm just using a swirling motion with these brushes. They work really nice. They blend really smoothly. And it does look like a bit of a mess when I start because it doesn't look like they're blending very well. But you'll see as the video goes on, they do blend really well. And the idea with blending, if you've not done this before or you're struggling to get a really nice effect, is you want to put your color down. And then you want to go back in again with your colors and kind of blend them through a bit more. So this bottom one here is a really light pink. So at first I was thinking it was a dry ink pad. So I tested it off screen and I was like, oh no, I'm just not getting enough ink on my brush, and it is quite a light color. So now I'm going in again and I'm blending those lines through. And so it doesn't take very long overall, but you do have to be a bit patient with it, especially if you want a nice dark color. Now this is my favorite bit of doing all these cards, is when I pull off the mask and I can see the beautiful outline that we've got. Now this paper, this post-it note sort of type sticky paper, is a bit thin, but I've never had it bleed through on me, so it works really well. Now I've got this left over in my stamp platform from my video on Wednesday. I'll link that at the end of this video if you want to watch it. But I've kind of put this post-it note tape inside of my stamp platform so that I can line up my stamps right in the middle, and I don't have to worry about it poking off the edge and trying to position my stamp so that it doesn't get in the way of the edge of the platform, if that makes sense. You'll see what I mean if you watch the other video. So I'm lining this up in my platform, and then I'm kind of having to play as to where on earth I want to put this stamp and how I want to line it up. And in the end, I go for the bottom left-hand corner. So I'm putting it in between those two bits of sticky tape so that I can see where I'm going. If it moves and budges then, or shifts when I stamp it, then I can put it right back into the same position. And I'm going to stamp my color, and I'm using VersaFine Onyx Black ink. It is the best black ink pad I've ever used. You can get it from a lot of different shops. It's a really good, really pigmented, dark black. So this is what I use on all my projects. It does take a little bit longer to dry because it is a pigment ink, so don't go rubbing your hands over it if you've stamped with it. You got to let it dry for a few minutes, but it isn't as tacky or as wet as a lot of pigment inks out there. I do find it does dry a lot quicker than most. So I'm just inking it up on my side of my panel there for my platform, and then I'm standing up and pushing down because I am stamping on the whole base and my stamp is going over the edge of my card. So I'm just giving it a really good firm press and making sure that all that ink transfers. and you get this beautiful image when you're done. So I've gone ahead and finished that card off camera, which you can see here now. And I used some little flat back gems to decorate the front that kind of were colors that matched in with my inks, and stamped happy birthday at the top. So moving on to the next card, I wanted to use this set here. And because it has like the grass and the flowers at the bottom and some butterflies, I thought that I would kind of go with some greens and some blues for the sky. So I'm starting by folding my card base and getting that ready, because again I'm going to do a nice flat card that's a single layer. Now these are all my little ink cubes. I store them in an old Ferrero Rocher, if that's how you say it, chocolate container. I need to get some more chocolates because I need another container for all my Ulta New inks. But I've got them still here in the packaging. I've got my Ulta New inks ready to go. I've got this one which is Sweet Dreams. I'll link these all down below for you. They're really awesome sets to have. And I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing again. Now I will reuse my low tack tape. I just wanted to let some of it dry before I go and use it on the next project. So I am just applying a new fresh set, and I do about 8 or 10 cards. So I make sure to save all my low tack tape and put it onto my other projects. Now I did struggle here with seeing where I was going with my tape. So we will fast forward in just a second to where it's all nicely finished for you. Now I've got this jar of scraps on my desk that I keep there. Just little thin strips that I've cut off when I've made card bases or card fronts. And I've just gone through that and found a piece that I thought I would use. I've got my Dot and Dab. This is a removable adhesive, and it's the only one I have, and I've never had to buy another one, or another brand of one. I really, really like it. It never permanently sticks to anything. It's always come off. It's a fantastic low tack tape, or removable tape, I should say. So I'm just going ahead and putting some onto the back of that strip and line it down across my card. Then I'm going to go ahead and get some more out. So you'll see my little jar in a second. It's an old peanut butter jar, and I just keep it on my desk ready to go so I can do so I can use them up for sentiments, or I can use them for projects like this. I just really enjoy keeping those scraps for extra projects. So here's my little scrap jar. This is what I've been reaching for whenever I need a little bit of something. I put all my metallic strips in there as well, which are great for accenting cards. So I'm going to go ahead and put some sticky adhesive on that, and I'm going to use my scrap bit of paper, which keeps sticking to my desk because of that low tack tape. So I'm just applying some of that onto there, which does get all over the paper, but it does rub off so easily. And to be honest, I'm just using that side for sticking on some of my removable adhesive. I got to get the right kind of adhesive here. I'm all over the place. Right, so I decided I wanted 2 lines across my card just to add a bit more character to it. And I'm going to go ahead and use these little ink blending tools instead of the brushes this time. So when I ink up a new one for the first time, I get the ink on the bottom, but then I like to tip my tool round and round so I get it all over the edges as well. Because I find if you don't get the edges, sometimes you get lines when you're blending. So I make sure to ink my whole tool up, going around all those edges of the sponge as well. So again, I'm going to speed this up so we don't get too bored. Stick on a couple more sponges onto those little tools. What are they called? Sponge tool holder thingers, ink blending tools. Anyways, I've got about 4 or 5 of the handles. You can get them quite cheap. And then I buy sponge refills. And if I can, I try and keep the sponges with the colors that come with it. So these sponges will fit in the underside of those little ink cubes. And you can buy some really cheap little bits of Velcro to go on the back of them so that you can attach them to the back of the ink pads and you can store them that way. And in the Ferrero Rocher, that chocolate box thing, you can stick them in there with the sponge underneath because it's nice and deep that it will hold up to the height of that. Now here's the fun bit again where we take off all of that low tack adhesive and reveal our really cool image underneath. So I love the way these colors blended together. I love how bright and vibrant they are. A lot of people like to do quite light-handed ink blending. I like a lot of color. I like it to be really in your face bright. So you can either go heavy-handed or light-handed. It doesn't matter, whatever you prefer, whatever you like. But this technique is fantastic for making one-layer cards and for just having a beautiful, crisp, clean background. Look at that color. I love it. So again, I'm going to get out the stamp platform and line up all my stamps where I want them to go. They're all going to be in black, so I'm kind of getting them all put down on the front of this card. Now, I don't know if you're like me. These are photopolymer, so they're really good, but they are a bit tacky when you first get them. I had a hell of a time. You see, I got my pokey tool out because it was just sticking to my finger, and then my bloomin' pokey tool gets stuck to the magnet. And this happened several times, so I kind of skipped through a bunch of this footage because I was like, for flippin' heck, this is not working. So we all struggle, even the people that do this as a profession on videos, we all struggle with things at certain times. And these tiny little butterflies would not stop sticking to my fingers. And I got the pokey tool out, but the pokey tool was magnetic. So anyways, after a little bit of faffing around and laughing at myself because I was just having a heck of a time, we got it there in the end. And now I'm going to ink it up. And though this is I nearly dropped my ink pad all over my card. Some days I just have the worst luck, it seems. Some days I am just clumsy and I make a mess. You'll see I muck up again on one of the next cards. And you just have to laugh it off and make the best you can with it, because there's no point in going back when you've got this far. You just got to keep going. Anyways, I stamped this down with the same black ink again, and I love it. It looks gorgeous. So I love that result and how it looks in the end. I did come in and add in a few more little butterflies towards the top, popping off the card, but I used my stamp block for that. Right, moving on, I've got these Nuvo inks. I picked them up, I shared with them, I think I shared them with you yesterday in my video. I thought, let's try one of these color combos. If you have one set of little cube inks, can we make this gorgeous kind of card using these three random colors that don't look like they should really go together? So I've skipped through the boring bit of me taping the border on my cards. You don't need a border, but I do find it makes a really cool, crisper look. So I'm going ahead and sticking down my little strips, and you can see me rubbing. That's just rubbing off that excess adhesive that's kind of poking out from underneath because the strips are all a bit thinner than my tape. Then I've got this one here where it's obviously not a great quality bit of cardstock, so it ripped. So I decided actually I want a skinnier one and pulled some of this out and lined up some strips for my background. Now I'm going to go in and start blending those three colors together. So I've gone ahead and decided to use these sponges again. Basically, I'm lazy and my brushes were all dirty and I didn't feel like cleaning them. So I decided to just get more sponge refills out and use those. So you can use whichever tool you like, but I was lazy and decided to go with these. Now, this bottom color, the green one, for whatever reason, the sponge I had for that one obviously was a bit defective because it kept littering little bits of the foam behind. Now, I did press quite hard when I was blending these colors together to make sure they blended quite well. So my removable adhesive stuck a bit and tore a bit of the paper, which doesn't matter to me because the little strips of paper are just going in the bin. But when I was removing them, I did have to, on a couple of them, just rub gently and then it pops right off. So it's a really good craft tool to have, is a removable adhesive, because you can do fun things like this. I could have cut strips out of my low-tack tape, the pink tape that I've got there, but again, I was just a bit lazy and my cutting skills with something sticky is not so good. So here's the big reveal. I love it. I love how these little lines turned out. So easy. A great way again to step it up from the basic color blocking or color blending. So the very first card I showed you was a very basic way. This is how you can step it up with minimal resources and get a beautiful effect. Now I'm going to share with you in a moment how you can step it up again and use some shape dies to do another kind of version of this card. I've got this beautiful floral set which I picked up from Cardstock again. It's another photopolymer stamp set, really good quality, and I thought this just fit the colors so well. I love flowers and butterflies. Those are the stamps I'm most drawn to, so you see me use them a lot. But I just find they're really versatile and you can get a lot of different uses out of them. So I'm inking it up again in the black and I'm going to stamp it down. I keep sharing this bit of the video with you instead of skipping through it because I just find this another one of those really satisfying moments where you lift that thing up and you're like, yay, it worked and it looks great. So really, really happy with how this turned out. I thought it was absolutely stunning. And I'm going to share with you my finished card now. I came in and I added a sentiment strip on, a few gems, and that finished off that card for me. So I was really happy with it. Now, this is from Wednesday night's crafting. This is the leftover bit. I think I've used this about 4 or 5 times now, and I decided this circle is perfect. So this is the next way you can step it up. You can take a die or a punch and cut out a shape out of some cardstock. So this is my scrap cardstock from my other video. And what I'm going to do is take that leftover low-tack tape and I'm going to add it onto the sides just to make sure I don't get any ink anywhere else but in the middle of that circle. Now I'm coming in with 2 purples from Nouveau, and I apologize because I zoomed in to show you those inks and I didn't focus my camera again. So for the next couple seconds it is blurry. Now I did this and realized I totally mucked up because I put a big blob in the middle and then I couldn't blend it out. So I will share with you, because I used it anyways in the end. I was like, actually, I'm going to use it for something fun. And you'll see that card at the end after I've done this ink blending. You'll see the 2 finished cards using my muck up and using this one. So for this one I was trying to go for sort of a lighter kind of point on my circle. So I was trying to avoid that little middle bit and let it be as light as possible and go as dark as possible as I could towards the edge. So you can see that effect. You'll see it get a bit clearer in a second. Now we take off all the masks and do the big reveal, and it is fantastic. I love it. And that again is 310 GSM cardstock that I used as my mask, and I used some of that removable adhesive around the circle on the back. So here's my Merry Christmas stamp. I went ahead and stamped it off screen. And this is a fun little stamp. It's a silicone stamp, not photopolymer. Now I'm coming in with my Arteza pen. These are my favorite black pens. At this point I'd realized I hadn't focused my camera back. And so now we got a nice clear image. I'm just tracing around the edge of this circle to kind of make that bauble or that circle pop a bit more off my page. Now I'm going to come in with my T-ruler because I cannot draw straight, and so we're going to use a ruler to do some lines. And the T-ruler is great because it lines up against the top of your card, so you make sure you get a nice straight line every time. And so all I'm doing is drawing 2 lines on the top, from the top of the card down to the bauble, and then I'm going to do some decorative doodling in between, I think you could call it. So I'm just doing some ziggy-zaggies down, and then I come in and do ziggy-zaggies down the other way. And I've just kind of made like a little string for my bauble, essentially. So it's really simple. If you've got a black pen, you can add lots of details to your project and just kind of make it pop a little bit more. Now this is the one card where I felt like I wanted to go a bit more dimensional with it. So it is a 1 layer, but I do add some more dimension using some extra bits. So I've got these bows which I picked off of AliExpress ages ago. I couldn't decide which color bow to put on. I decided to go with the dark purple one in the end. I've got some mixed media glue, the Ranger matte medium, in this tube, and I'm just squirting on a really big blob because I don't want it to move around. You do have to wait a while for it to dry, but it dries completely clear. So I stuck that down with that, and now this is where I start to make oopsies. I apply these Nouveau drops, which are the matte finish Nouveau drops, so they're quite cool. They dry not shiny, so they dry matte, as the bottle says. And I went and put some of these dots down, and then I had an oopsie. I was trying to find my next sentiment, and I put the packaging down on top of my finished card. I didn't put it off to the side on the table behind me, I put it just to the left of me. So I mucked up, and I thought I'm going to have to just roll with it. I mucked this up. We're going to come in, we're going to take the stamp packaging from that Merry Christmas, and I am just going to try and make it work and do the same effect on all of them. The left hand side doesn't go as well. Then when I go to do that, I move the bow. I was like, oh my word, what is going on here? But I was like, nope, we're going to keep going, we're going to keep going, we're going to make this work. So I go ahead and I squish these down, and then those 2 bottom ones joined together, which is a bit of a shame, but I think the card still looks cool in the end when it's all finished and dried. So it's going to somebody. I worked really hard on it and I like it. Now here's that one where I did the ink in the middle and it didn't quite work out. But then I decided to use it anyways, and I'm really happy I did because I think it looks great. Okay, so who's ready for a giveaway? You guys are amazing, and I hit 10,000 subscribers last month. It was epic. I had 3,500 new subscribers, and it was so exciting. So I have got a big giveaway for 5 of you to win. And my giveaways are always worldwide. They are not exclusive to anyone. I will post it to you wherever you live. So these are my rules. It is open worldwide. You must comment to win. Otherwise, I have no idea that you want to enter my giveaway if you don't comment down below. So comment something along the lines of saying you would like to win. I would absolutely love it if you liked and subscribed and hit the bell notification, but those are not requirements to win my giveaway. I will not require anything like that of you. I don't think it's that fair. If you like me, then I would appreciate if that's what you could do. And you must watch my giveaway video to see if you have won. The dates are here on the screen. I will be doing the draw on the evening in the 26th, and then I will announce all the winners on the 27th by video. So you must watch the video. If I don't have a response from everyone within 2 weeks, then I will redraw at the 2-week mark, and we'll have some new winners as well. So let's get on to what you're going to get. So all 5 packages are the same. I've got this stamp and die set, which I've just shared with you. It doesn't fit in the cute little bag, which is why it's not in there. But then we've got this bundle of goodies. So most of these are photopolymer stamps, most of them. Some, I think 1 or 2 are silicone stamps, but they're all very good quality. So we've got these cute little ones here that I've picked up for you. Again, all 5 packs are the exact same. And we've got some everyday journaling stamps, which give you the months of the year, and some cute little flower edging. Then we've got my all-time favorite stamp set. I got some more of these to give to you. So you may have received one of these in my last giveaway, but I couldn't resist getting some more. They are gorgeous. So you've got one of those coming to you. Then we've got this die set here, which is a 3-piece die set. You get the nice outside square. It's quite large, and it has got hexagons, octagons, you know, one of those ones with all those points on it, 6 sides. Hexagons, there it is. So it's a cute little die set. It's got 3 pieces to it. That's included in your bundle as well. So those are all the giveaway items. There are 5 winners to be chosen. So make sure you get your comments in down below for your chance to win. Now here are some finished cards that I did off screen with all the products that I used. I had a lot of fun and did a whole bunch more cards, and now I've got some beautiful flat Christmas cards that I can post out internationally so they don't cost me as much money. But I hope you had fun. Thank you so much for joining me. Don't forget to watch my video on Wednesday and do some more fun crafting. Thank you. Bye.